Welcome to the Wright Group. We've decided to cover how aviation is going to change over the next 5 to 10 years. Let's start with about 25 years ago. Let's talk about regional airlines. They've started from small prop airplanes serving small markets to large jet aircraft serving major cities now. The major airlines could outsource their flying to regionals, sometimes the lowest paid, in order to increase revenue in small markets. This led to investors taking notice, and the influx of numerous regionals in the mid-2000s was born. An analyst of the aviation market, Susan Carey, in 2006 she discusses an interesting success of the regional airlines, and she looks at the regionals as an attractive investment vehicles. One of the shortcomings of the article is the emphasis on the terrorist attacks of 2001 as the cause of the tailspin of the major airlines. This attribution is relevant because the problems of the major airlines are important factors influencing the future profitability of regional airlines, and in turn, the attractiveness of the regional airlines as an investment vehicle itself. The airline industry was already in the United States was already in some serious problems before September 11th. The industry has made since that time consistent claims that it was on the verge of mass bankruptcy. The major airlines, for the most part, were in precarious financing and operational straits, and competition remained high. Carey points out that much of the operational and financial success of regional airlines over the past 5 years has stemmed from these sweet contracts with major carriers. The major carriers can, in effect, subsidize the regional airlines to promote feeder traffic from locations that are not financially feasible for the major carriers to serve directly. Over the past 2 or 3 years, some major carriers have also used these arrangements to support labor management strategies designed to wring concessions from their own employees, lower labor costs, and it gives them the ability to serve smaller airports at a profit versus having major carriers do it at a loss. Today, the major carriers are no longer able to continue subsidizing numerous regional airlines. This has led to mergers, buyouts, and in turn, the major carriers, as pointed out by Carey, are now willing to sacrifice even those regional airlines that have been mirror images of the major carriers. This shift from outsourced flying to numerous regional carriers in the past to having just 1 or 2 regional carriers cannot be attributed to just one reason. From buyouts and mergers to retirements and new rules governing crews set by the FAA, the industry is in a position to begin a contracting period. The current state of the industry. First and foremost, the price of fuel over the past couple of years has the increase that can't be ignored. In an article by Thomas Reich, he's an aviation consultant. He brings to light how we got to this point. Points out high fuel prices will be the end of the 50-seat flying. So in 2000, when the market was full of 50-seaters serving smaller market, now they're no longer fuel efficient. He talks about how an influx of service to smaller cities and increased seat availability, it created more travel options for your business travelers. The only problem is now that these aircraft have aged, maintenance costs have increased, and this is just not going to be able to work with the increase of fuel. He goes on to say that major carriers such as Delta have made a move to replace their costly 50-seat RJs with more fuel-efficient and profitable 76 to 90-seat CRJ 900s. And they also have a range of 70 to 76 seats with CRJ 700s. So basically they're taking 2 for 1. So they're getting replaced the 50 seats 2 to 1 with the new fuel-efficient 900s. Unfortunately, we're shrinking their overall fleet of regional jets until eventually all of our CRJs have ceased operation. Reich states this in a response to Delta replacing their older and costly MD-88 fleet with a more efficient 717. By the end of this year, all of those 717s will be delivered. With record profits posted by Delta over the past years, this is just the first step in ensuring future profitability in an otherwise cyclical but growing travel industry. Moving forward, the industry hasn't seen a shortage of pilots this severe since the 60s. This void was filled by qualified pilots joining the airlines after their tours in Vietnam. Gone are the days of mass exodus of pilots from the military. More lucrative pay and benefits are keeping most military pilots from leaving. With the added 1,500-hour minimum requirement in order to be a first officer in the airlines and new duty and rest rules, airlines will be poaching qualified pilots from their subsidiaries, leaving them to scramble to fill their seats. So they've moved to consolidate. They've updated their fleets with fuel-efficient aircraft. They finally get record profits. Fuel prices are finally lower. And at this point, from what I've been told and from what we've been reading in these referenced articles, is that right now, since there are not enough qualified applicants, airlines are working as hard as possible to try to repeal or increase the retirement age because there just aren't enough pilots in the pipeline. Right now, it's over $225,000 to get flight training in a 4-year degree. You come out making $30,000 your first year, you're not able to sustain yourself or make payments for that matter. This is a time in the industry that nobody has seen before. There's a lot of expansion of the 50-seat market. Now that that's not becoming as lucrative anymore, an aging fleet, they had to consolidate. We're shrinking down to size, get your labor costs under control. And at this point, there's more and more flying being shifted to mainline. And they're taking their flying back, and they're probably going to end up taking us with them.